All right, welcome inside the Wealthy Fantasy Football KBO area of the Wealthy Fantasy Football blog. That's wealthyfantasyfootball.com. Andrew here. What we can do is go ahead and show you a game by game matchup. I don't want it to be boring at all, but we've got to go through these games and see what we think, what we feel about these items here, so we can go ahead and get you all some good projected lineups and so forth. But actually, over at wealthyfantasyfootball.com, I already have that set up. The top menu area, click on the KBO section, and you can see here what I have in terms of just lined up as of now. I might make a change or two just to project them in a different ranking order. Last few days, Straley has not been able to go in there because of rainout games, so he's very valuable as well as Drew Gagnon for Kia, and followed by them, the third most valuable at this point that I see here is Casey Kelly for LG, and then you can look at the NC guy also for the Dinos. But looking at the matchups here, I just want to run down here the Kia Tigers at the K1 Heroes. Look at the matchup here real quick. As I mentioned, Gagnon playing at KIW. Gagnon has never faced this team, so that's great. And this team has generally done fairly well, not really all that great. As you can see here, highlighted by these numbers, there's some at-bats, but nothing in particular, very great. Well, there's a couple home runs these guys down here had, as to whether they'll be in the lineup or not. But so we can look at this on down the line and just get a feel for, how good this team was batting versus Kia in the previous couple of matchups. It looks like, because you're getting anywhere from like 8 to 13 at bats, so about 2 games or 3 games. They have played each other so far, but not versus Gagnon. So we're not really concerned too much about Kia having a whole lot of success. I'm sorry, Ki Woom having a whole lot of success versus this pitcher Gagnon. So what we got to do here is check out. We're not going to pick out any particular players, but we are going to look at over here how they look in terms of. So looking at the Tigers, the overall team value, and see what we can get. If we can get something in the heart of an order, great. With a high OPS, we're going to go by that. You can look at the batting average, but we also need to look at plate appearances, take that into consideration. Look at things like home runs, RBIs, and things like that. But mainly, just want to be concerned with OPS. As the top players, they're Preston Tucker, Hyo-Rayon Kim. I played him quite a lot as well. Not really so much these guys. Perhaps Chow and you. Let's see how they kind of line up there in this matchup over here at the KBO lineups page. This is kind of just what I'll do for every. Excuse me, just a moment. Got to let the dog in. Great. So looking on down here. For Kia, like the guys who mentioned, Ho-Rayon Kim, a righty versus a righty. That's fine on the road, though. Tucker, a lefty versus righty, even better, batting third. So you can get him in there with Chow as well, I mentioned. So there you go. 1, 3, and 4 stack. Probably looking like a good way to go there versus KIW. If you look at KIW's pitcher, we got here. He's at the bottom, 9th ranked pitcher so far, Young Gun Joe. So he's only 6.1K, but we want to mess with him versus this good Kia Tiger lineup. I'm only projected him with the WFF, or Wealthy Fantasy Football projection, of 8 points. So you can attack that spot. Yeah, looking back over here at the matchup, as we pretty much decided what to do with this game, we can attack Kiwoom Heroes, and we want to go with, go ahead and, as you look at the matchup here, you got guys here batting over 400 OPS at the top that have hit. There's a couple home runs before versus this team, including Tucker, including Chow. And then looking on down the line, there are some pretty decent batting averages, 300 batting averages. So you can look at these, like I said, the heart of this order. I wouldn't go crazy stacking them, just from the looks of this here. Now, next matchup. I'm going to look at KT versus, that's at the Han Eagles. Han Eagles, as you can see here, bottom of the standings. Not a good team, but a good pitcher. Sappold has not played KT, so likely not a place we're really going to stack versus Sappold, because over here, back at WFF, we got Sappold here. Well, not very highly ranked in terms of value, but he can put up some 13 points. If he gives up, let's say 3.5 earned runs, then you're looking at getting up 7 points out of that. So he could get 20 if he has a good game, 20 points. So it's just something to think about in this matchup. But when you look at offensively, the Eagles potentially versus KTW, they're not a great team either. But they have some batters here which have done 400, as you can see right here, over 500 on base percentage versus this team. Really good numbers actually versus this team for some reason. So it leads me to believe, as I have confirmed before, KT is a weak bullpen. And then the pitcher for KT, let's take a look. KT. Young Jun So, a relief pitcher, he's considered, is only going to give you 5.5 innings, probably 4 strikeouts, projected 13.8 values. So you can attack that in a tournament. I would say use the Han Eagles, and you could also. I wouldn't really go at Sapple particularly with KT, but if you decide to go with that side of the stack, the KT side of a stack versus this team, I wouldn't blame you, just because they have a weak bullpen as well, and if they can get Sappled out of there, the team has done very well. Wang, Rojas, Kung Soo Park, guys like these have all batting well over twice the amount of a regular batting average, but well, this is about 10 at bats, 10 to 15 at bats for this lineup basically. We look at over here, put them side by side. When we look at facing a righty, there's a couple lefties and a switch hitter right here in the heart of the order, 2, 3, and 4 in the batting order. So you could certainly do that. It's looking a little bit better to me. It's a better overall team, perhaps stack, but I wouldn't mind going with these guys right up here. First, second, and third. Lefties versus this righty. So for KTW, so we might get some high offensive numbers. I would take the over perhaps 9.5 runs in that particular matchup. Let's go ahead and then look at the next one. Looking at the Twins at the SK Wyverns, and as I mentioned, Kelly, he's got a good outlook for today. For SK, usually they get decent pitchers in there. Where's SK's pitcher? Oh, actually, no, worst ranked for the day. Only looking to get maybe 8.5 projected points out of them per the WFF score. So attack as much as you can. Go ahead and take. Let's make sure it's a good matchup for them. LG versus, let's see. Well, Wook has played them, or Lee, his name is. Wook has played them before and had a successful outing of 1.08 ERA for that game. So maybe want to give that a second guess or a second thought. But as you can see here at the top as well, once again, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys right at the top that have done over 400 on base percentage versus this team. So if they can get this guy out, Lee, they'll easily have a good time, getting up to 6 runs or so. And then when you look at the other side, SK versus, LG, it's not a good matchup. Kelly's one of the better pitchers on the slate, and third ranked to me. And I would say he's going to get you a good, 20 point for the day, 20 point points. So I'm not looking to attack him. So let's see what the matchup looks like, though, at least for LG versus SK on the lineups. Versus Lee, the righty, we got a couple right at the numbers, batters 1 through 4, lefties versus the righty on the road. Very good. We could go with even look at the catcher. Sometimes he's good to play as well, saving some money. Instead of playing like the NC catcher, so you can save ourselves some money and get some good valuable bats in our lineup, and try that out. There's a lot of lefties in this lineup, so good to try. All right, so that's one matchup there. Let's go on to the next one. The Dinos at the Bears, one of the two best teams facing off against one another. Sure, probably just done it at the beginning of each one of these matchups. This one's projected at 10.5 runs. That's certainly what we want. A matchup like this. Neither one of the pitchers are that highly ranked to me. Lee for NC is decent, but he had a drop down in price from 9.7K to 8.9K with good reason, though. I would project him perhaps up to 20 points, though, but is not really a good strikeout pitcher, so his value drops. So The question is, where do we want to attack? Dew has been really hot. They scored 13 runs last night. If they can get some past Lee, great. He has faced them before, Doosan, with a 7.2 ERA, so likely they can get at him again, facing him now for the second time. So expect a lot of runs out of Dew, as we can see here. The on-base percentage right at the top, 3 guys, and more guys as we look down here, such as J-Il-O. He was 5 for 15, 2 home runs. Some other guys with some home runs up here, such as Kim and Jong. So all kinds of different options here. You can look to another guy down here with a home run, Kim. Not necessarily good batting average or on base, but you can certainly see there's enough sample size here to know that Dew can certainly do it again versus NC. When you look at the other side of the matchup, NC, against this guy Park for Dew. Let's look at Park real quick here for Dew. Yeah, he only had 1 game of data, but a nice result: 6 innings pitched, 3 strikeouts versus LG. Overall, looking good on the season so far with 8 strikeouts and 10 innings pitched. Of course, a tough matchup. So when you look at it here, I want to take a look over here as well. I want to see something. If it's up as of yet, it might give you an implied run total for each team. There's just free accesses, resources for you to get to without cost. And there's no cost to even get on the WFF Discord. Once you get over here and you look anywhere around here, you'll see links such as this one right here, WFF Discord. Get in there so we can talk and chat the night before or the morning of these particular matchups. So where was I at? Let me just kind of reset here. The batters versus Dew. Once again, right here at the top 4 batters probably in the order are going to give you well over 300 on base percentage, which is fine. I don't see any real weaknesses there. So we look at stacking maybe the heart of this order like it was last night for me. Unfortunately, it fell through as they only got 3 runs, not enough versus this team. But when you look at Yang, Kang, Kwan, Park, and then even at the bottom of the order, Alter, no. I would expect these guys probably to bounce right back. Collectively, they didn't give me enough runs last night, but I would just kind of see, as that's Park, not really an experienced pitcher. He didn't pitch any really at all since 2015 that I could see on the KBO stats. Maybe I should take a look there on Baseball Reference to see if he pitched anywhere else overseas or anything, but it does seem kind of odd that he would come back and pitch this well. So maybe this is for real, maybe it's not. I'll just have to do a little bit more research and I'll decide. My final rankings include that in there for, right here. I'm just putting him number 7 ranked pitcher for the day. That means I probably won't play him unless I can figure, that, like I said, he pitched somewhere else more consistently, stayed fresh and in an order on some team somewhere, so we can look to try to do that or not. So, but when you look at the lefty-righty scenario, there's if we have lefties, of course, as we do, Park and Lee, Na at the top of the order. These guys are tournament-type players and plays. Well, actually, Lee was good in cash as well, but he didn't actually cash in. One of those rare occasions or rare nights. So these are good guys to consider and take. Like I mentioned, the Hart mid-order to the bottom of the order, very good for NCD. And then go ahead and take a look at our last matchup here. Samsung Lions at Low Giants. When we look at Straley, finally he'll be able to get into the game. Doesn't matter, he's got a well-rested pitcher, has never played Samsung. And when you look at Samsung versus Low, in the past here, nothing particularly impressive or standing out. There's some smaller sample size here. They haven't had a whole lot, up to 10 at-bats versus this team, so not necessarily anything to worry about. Still take Straley if the game is clear and no rain there. When you look at the Lote side versus Tay In Wo, he's one of those 0 runs allowed. So 0 earned runs allowed versus his team. So this is not the place to stack either, except for the fact they faced him before, given that's an advantage. What they've done before versus this bullpen included. For the top 2 guys, 5 for 11, 3 for 10, 2 for 11, 2 for 12. I mean, nothing impressive here, really. So I don't feel comfortable stacking either team in this game, so we will go ahead and stay away. So that's it. Just look into the content here on WFF WFF inside the Discord channel. We'll talk to you along the rest of the afternoon and evening and into the morning as much as possible, so you all can get some good lineups in there. And also for the NPB, we'll look to do that. The Japanese League, get you some lineups there, as I was very successful being able to do that last night. These are posted here on the same KBO page. I happen to put them in there. I should put them on the NPB page, but the NPB page is not going to have a whole lot on it, but you can find that section also on the top of the same site. Here was the result real quick before I let you go. Where did it go? Oh, right up here. Sorry. First place in the tournament, first place in a double up for NPB lineup, so did great there. Entered into a golf, did nothing. I don't know nothing about golf, so I don't expect to do well there, but expect to do well on NPB and KBO Daily. So look out for these lineups coming up in the Discord channel, so you can get that really the easiest way of manufacturing yourself some cash every day. All right, thanks a lot. Take care. Thank you for watching and subscribe.